It's that time of month. I was about to say it's that time of year. Hello everyone, so today's video is that time of month where we go through all of the books that I read in July. Okay, so if you saw my video that went up today, so Monday's video, I did say that I was super unwell last week and my child was unwell as well. I had a really weird bout of gastro that was like, I'd be sick for a day and then be fine for a day and then be sick for a day and then fine for a day. Today's the first day that I actually know 100% I'm okay. I've gone to the toilet without any issues. I don't feel sick. I've eaten for a couple of days and been okay. So that's why I'm still not like super like put together and whatnot for this video. But I wanted to get this done. I was worried that it was going to be out too late, but it's good timing. It'll be out on Thursday. So that's what we're seeing. So if you guys have seen my reading wrap-ups before, you know I got this idea from Bal to read on Bal's Library Books on YouTube and TikTok. She does this specifically on her YouTube videos for her reading wrap-ups. But I like to go through like some statistics and just give you guys like an overview without going in depth straight away into what my reading looked like for the month of July. So my July reading wrap up. So this is just some general statistics. So the number of books I read was 8. The number of pages I read was 3,853 pages. My predominant format was physical and audiobook. I had 3 of each, so it was very like even split for those two. And my average rating was 4.6 stars, which is such a good rating and makes me super happy. Can I also just say, even this month, I finished one book already this month, like in the month of August. I finished one book already and I'm reading another book that's already giving me 5-star feeling. So this morning I finished The Last Dragon King and I'm currently reading For Whom the Bell Tolls by J.C. Lynn, I believe is how you say the name. I'm so sorry if that's wrong. And it is a great book. Obviously you'll see my thoughts more at the end of this month, but all right, let's continue on. So my genres, you're going to notice that my genres are not very wide this month. After reading Onyx Storm, I fell into a reading slump, which I knew was going to happen, and I could not pick up anything fantasy. So we just read a lot of romance and 2 young adult books. Okay, and then moving on to my ratings. So I had 4 5-star books, which is insane. Like literally I had one of the best reading months I've had all year. I had 2 4-star books and I had 1 4.25-star book and I had 1 DNF. And then a rough overview of the tropes. This is just like the main ones that popped out in the books, and then I've just listed like the top 5 there. So I had 7 books that had a sports trope in it. I had 4 books that had the found family trope in it. I had 2 books that had the fake dating trope in it. And I had 2 books that had forced proximity and 2 books that were slow burn. If you guys follow me on TikTok, you would have seen that I posted a book mail video getting these books, and you'll know that I don't have the second book, which is the second book we're going to talk about, but I have the US covers of this book and I'm so happy about it. So the first book I read was Binding 13. Now I have put this in the romance genre because everyone states that this is a sports romance. It's not. It's a super heavy emotional romance. So I've put it in the romance genre because to me that makes sense, and it's got a sports trope in it because I don't think it's not all about rugby. Even though, yes, the numbers have to do with the rugby jerseys, it's not all about rugby. So that's why I've put it in there. There is a reading vlog coming of me reading this entire series. I do have Saving 6 on the TBR for this month. I didn't have it in that video, in my TBR video for August, because I didn't have the physical books yet. I'd filmed that already. But I do have it on my TBR, Saving 6 by Chloe Walsh on my TBR for August, because I really want to continue on with the series. And I do have a couple of weeks break in 3 weeks from uni where I'm going to sit down and do like a couple of reading vlogs. So there is a reading vlog coming of me reading this entire series, and I do have a video of me finishing this book and the tears that came, and then for the second book I also have a massive video of me bawling my eyes out. So stay tuned for that. That should be up in a couple of, I want to say maybe like a month it should be here. But Binding 13, I really love this book. I love the story between Johnny and Shannon. I absolutely think that the content of this is super intense and very strong, and I think that if you are easily triggered, you definitely need to read your trigger warnings. Yeah, definitely think that if you struggle with triggers, you definitely should read your trigger warnings before going into this book. However, if you do not have triggers or you're not easily triggered, go into this blind. I think it is definitely worth it. Essentially in this you are following Shannon Lynch and Johnny Kavanagh. Shannon is moving schools, and this starts with her starting her first day at Tomforde College, and she's moved schools because she has been bullied her whole life at the previous school she was at. And her first day at school, she is running late for class and cuts across the football field and gets hit in the head with a football that was kicked by none other than Bal Kahbra. And that's all I'm going to tell you about this story from there. I will tell you the tropes. We have emotional, it's an emotional romance, you've got found family, you do have domestic violence in this, so definitely keep that in mind. And it is a sports romance. My rating for this was 5 stars and 0.5 chili spice. It's not super spicy. It is set in high school, so obviously there's a little bit of like a, I think I gave it a 0.5, not because there was any spicy scenes, just because of the tension and stuff that happened. It was like a little bit spicy, you know? So yeah, that was the first book that I read this month, or in July. Now, I don't even have the UK cover to hold up for this book, so I'm just gonna pop it on the screen, whichever one I decide to do, whether it be the US cover or the UK cover. You'll see it now. Then I went on and I read Keeping 13, and this book was, this is the easiest 5 stars I've ever given a book. Like, it was pretty easy for me to give Binding 13 5 stars, but this Keeping 13 was so much easier. Literally the easiest I've ever given a 5 star to a book. Like, it was so gut-wrenching and so emotional, and the state that this book put me in. I think there's a video coming next Monday where you will see a little snippet of the vlog that I mentioned of me reading this entire series, of like how much I was bawling my eyes out, Snapchatting my best friend, my book bestie, telling him how good this book was and like how emotionally gripping it was, and like showing him the tears that were literally coming down my neck. Like, when I say I was like hysterically crying, I was hysterically crying. So again, you're following Johnny and Shannon in this. It's their duet in this entire series. Each of the number of the books follows a different pairing. So this one is Johnny and Shannon. I am not going to tell you what happens in this because obviously it'll be a huge spoiler for what happens in Binding 13. Just know that I think Keeping 13 is the better out of the 2 books. Again, you have found family, domestic violence, sports, like the rugby trope, so like sports trope, and you do also have drug abuse in this one as well. And my rating for this was, again, 5 stars, easiest 5 stars I've ever given a book, and I got a 1 chili spice because again, it wasn't super spicy. There wasn't a lot of like spicy scenes in it. I think there was maybe 1 or 2, and it wasn't super graphic or vulgar language or anything like that. And then I moved on. I listened to this on Audible. I moved on and I read The Right Move by Tomforde, which follows Ryan and Indy, and I was super excited for this because obviously we got to see a lot of Ryan and Indy in Mile High, because Ryan is Stevie's brother and Indy is Stevie's best friend / work colleague. So in this you have Ryan, who is the NBA's like top player for Chicago, for the Chicago team, and he is also the captain of the Chicago team. And you have Indy, who is a flight attendant for the NHL, so the ice hockey team in Chicago. She is their flight attendant for their chartered plane for the season. And you find out in Mile High, you find out that Indy walks in on her partner of 6 years having an affair, and obviously she ends the relationship with him, and she has nowhere to live, and Stevie essentially goes to Ryan and says, can Indy move in with you? And Ryan's like, no, I like my own space, it's not happening, but ends up caving for Stevie. They end up fake dating because he opened his big mouth with his general manager, and she ends up going along with it because she has a wedding to attend that her ex is going to be at, and they decide that they'll fake date until then. And I'm not going to tell you anything else from there, but this is a beautiful story, and I totally understand why people say that Ryan Shea is the blueprint. There's a quote in this book, and I have it, I'll show you, I'll put the screenshot of my end of the month, the last page of my monthly spread for my reading journal, because I do have a quote from this book, and it says, it's something that Ryan says, and it says, at some point I should probably tell her that my love language is whichever one she wants it to be, so she can stop guessing. I'll make sure that girl feels loved however she needs. It's just so beautiful, and like that's how people should be with their spouses. So, well, not spouses, I don't know why I called not spouses, with their partners. I don't know why I said spouse, because I was just looking at Ride With Me, that's why. So yeah, The Right Move by Tomforde. Highly recommend this book. It got a 5-star rating from me again. That's what I mean, like we started the month out with a banger. Like 3 5-star reads off the bat, just insane. And it also got a 2 chili spice because the way this man demands in the room, but like not like demanding that she service him, just like the way that he is like, no, do this, tell me what you want. Like, oh, it was really good. So highly recommend this book. I then read Spiral by Bal Kahbra, which is the second book in the Off the Ice series. This follows Elias and Sage, and you might be able to see I have the sprayed edges up here of Summer and Aiden, which is Collide, and then Sage and Elias. I again listened to this on Audible. I think I listened to it in one day. I think I listened to The Right Move in one day as well. Oh my god, I'm so yawning. I think I actually listened to The Right Move over a couple of days, but I listened to bulk of it in one day. Anywho, moving right along. Again, this is another fake dating, another bit of a forced proximity, but not quite as much, but it's fake dating. You have found family, you have the sports element because he is an ice hockey player for the Vancouver Thunders, I believe it's called. Toronto Thunder, sorry. And Sage is a ballerina and is trying to get into a like ballet company. Elias is struggling with fame and media. He gets a lot of bad like publicity online, and Sage, because of her lack of online social media presence, she is struggling to get into a ballet academy or a ballet company and dance. And they decide that fake dating is a way to do that. It'll keep people off his back and it'll give her a boost on social media because he is so popular. Also, you have a diverse representation of this. The FMC, as you can see on the cover, is a woman of color. So it's really, really good. I really love this book. I love the ending of this book. It's not your typical epilogue, which I really loved. And yeah, it was just really interesting. I love this book. I don't really know what else to say about it. Also, I should say, because I wasn't the biggest fan of Collide, so I didn't actually have high hopes for this going into it, but my rating's going to shock you. This was another 5-star read. 4 5-star reads back to back, like insane to me. So this got a 5-star rating and a 1 chili spice, because again, it wasn't super spicy. It was quite a slow burn. But yeah, it was still really, really good and I really enjoyed it. And the next book I went on to read was Heartstopper by Alice Osman. This is a graphic novel or a comic. It's actually written as like comic in the back, but this was such a beautiful little story. I read this super quick. I read this in like a couple of hours, not even, maybe like an hour. Oh my god, the yawning. I read this in like under an hour. I read both volume 1 and volume 2 in one day within a couple of hours of each other. But I really love this. This was really sweet. This is a young adult romance. So you've got the LGBTQ plus trope as well as representation, which I really loved. It was really nice to see. This was my first that I'd ever read, and I really did like it. You have a little bit of the sports element in this as well. Charlie plays for the rugby team Nick plays for the rugby team and gets Charlie involved as well. You have friends to lovers. This starts out with Charlie. You find out that he was bullied a lot last year because he was kind of forced to come out as gay. And in this book, Nick and Charlie develop a really beautiful friendship, and Nick is a little bit confused as to what that means for him. And then we kind of talk about that a little bit more in the second book, but I'm not going to go into too much detail on that, even talking about it when I hold up the second book. But this was really, really beautiful, and I'm excited to read the rest of the series as well. And yeah, it was just a really beautiful story and I really enjoyed it. This got a 4-star rating for me. It got no chili spices because it is a young adult, so there's no spice in it. I think there's like 1 or 2 kissing scenes in this, and that's about it. There was a really, is it in this scene? I think it's in this scene. Yeah, there was a really beautiful scene in this where Charlie was kind of getting cornered for certain things. I'm not going to say exactly what that was. I think you just need to read it, and the way Nick stepped in was really beautiful, so highly recommend this book as well. And then I read Heartstopper Volume 2. You have the same tropes in this. So you've got LGBTQ plus. I always struggle to say that. I'm so sorry. I don't mean to offend anyone. I just always get really tongue-tied. You also have friends to lovers in this as well. And just the way that their relationship and friendship blooms and blossoms in this is absolutely beautiful, and I love it so much. Again, highly recommend this series. Highly recommend that you read it. It's a really nice, easy read. Book Bestie was like, you're not reading it like slow enough because you're not enjoying the pictures. I was like, I am enjoying the pictures. Like I am still looking at the pictures and like reading the story that the pictures are telling, but I can just read it super fast. He's like, well, clearly not. And I was like, Cap, I read fast anyway. So we got into a little bit of a back and forth about whether or not I was actually reading it. And I feel like I did. I really did enjoy these books. It was really beautiful. I really want to watch the TV series, but I'm stopping myself because I want to finish the graphic novels first. But this as well got a 4-star rating from me as well, and no chili spice again. It's completely YA, so it's very teenager friendly. And then we move into my second DNF of the year, and I'm probably going to ruffle some feathers with this, but it was, what is it? Love Redesigned by Lauren Asher. It's the first book in the Lakefront Billionaire series. I got literally like 9 chapters in this. I was listening to it on Audible. I don't think that makes a difference because of what was bothering me in this book, which I'll get to in a minute. So I think I got like 100 pages in, not even quite 100 pages. And the tropes in this is you have childhood rivals to lovers, you have the renovation trope, it's a small town. My issue was one, I couldn't stand either of the protagonists. They both were super annoying. And the biggest problem I had with this book was that these characters are supposed to be in their late 20s to early 30s, and they're still taking everything to do with each other as some sort of rivalry or test or competition between the two of them. And I'm just the way they were acting was so childish, and I'm not here for the high school drama when the characters are portrayed as being, you know, late 20s, early 30s. It really bothers me. I can deal with high school drama in a high school related book, like Grumpy Darling could deal with that. Not Grumpy Darling, Rival Darling. I haven't read Grumpy Darling, that's over there. Rival Darling by Alexandra Moody, which I read earlier this year, and it got 5 stars from me. It was a high school romance, like it was complete YA, and there was high school drama in that. However, we were talking about 17 and 18-year-old kids. These people, these adults, these full-blown adults, they're in their like late 20s to early 30s, are acting like 17-year-old kids, and it was driving me up the wall, and I can't with it. So this is a solid DNF. I thought it was going to be a DNF for now, but no, this is a solid DNF, and I won't be continuing this series, that's for sure. I'm so sorry. And then the final book that I read this month, and I know I've read this out of order because I haven't read Crossing the Line by Simone Soltani, but I did not hear very good reviews about Crossing the Line, so I was like, you know what, I'm going to skip it, see how I feel about this, and then I'll go back and read that if I did like it. So I read Ride With Me by Simone Soltani, and I really love this book. This has the accidental marriage in Vegas trope, and I've never read that trope before, and I really loved it. It's an F1 sports romance, and this is a really good slow burn book. There's a lot of tension, a lot of yearning. I read this in like 2 days, and yeah, it was really, really good. Thoroughly enjoyed it. The text threads between Stella and Thomas were absolutely hilarious. Like, they had me cackling. Thomas is a Formula 1 race car driver, and Stella owns this patisserie, bakery, dessert shop. She has like over 100 locations in America, and in this book she branches out into London. She also has other businesses as well. And Thomas is extremely hated in the F1, in the motorsport industry, because of a comment that he made about a fellow driver, and they both end up at a bachelorette party for mutual people that they know, and neither one of them want to be there. They kind of end up spending their whole night together, and then they wake up and she has a donut ring on her finger, and they're in his hotel room fully clothed, and they're like, why are we still clothed? But they ended up getting hitched, which it was really funny. Something I didn't like about this, which is why it didn't get a 5-star rating, was we totally missed the whole like getting hitched in Vegas. That would have been so good to actually read, but anywho, we did get an insight to it at the end, but not like fully. So her whole empire has been built on like macarons, or macarons, however you want to say it. And she was testing new flavors for the summer menu, and she had Thomas try one, and she asked him, does it remind you of summer? And he says, no, it doesn't remind me of summer. It reminds me of just a minute ago, with my lips by her ear and inhaling her sweet citrus scent. It reminds me of dark Vegas clubs, of sweaty hugs after a race, of burying my face in her neck while in bed together because I simply couldn't go another moment without feeling her skin against mine. I swallow hard. It's my new favorite. It's such a beautiful, like, The way this man loves her quietly and loudly at the same time is absolutely beautiful. Also, I should mention that she was left at the altar 2 weeks before meeting him at this bachelor/bachelorette party as well. So it's a really beautiful story. I highly recommend that you go into it and read it. It got a 4.25 star rating from me and a 1 chili spice because, like I said, it is a slow burn. So there's not a whole bunch of spice involved. Okay, so that is all for today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy it. I do have Binding and Keeping 13 are actually annotated. I just haven't copied the annotations over from my Kindle to the physical copies, and obviously I can't do that for Keeping 13 anyway. Not yet. And the Right Move has I also did annotate that. So if you want annotated copies of the books that I read this month that have been annotated, which is Binding and Keeping 13 and The Right Move. If you want annotated copies of those, head to my Etsy shop. The link's in the down box below and you can pick one up over there. I've got to update my site this month. But yeah, that's it. Make sure you follow me on TikTok and Instagram. They'll be linked on the screen and in the description box below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, share this video out. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye. Mwah.